Let's head to the Northern Cape now, where IEC head in the province, Bonolo Modise, says the commission has measures in place to reach far-flung areas in time.
In the province, we have just over 650,000 registered voters. You'd appreciate that the Northern Cape, land size-wise, is the biggest in the country, but in terms of the number of potential voters in the province, we've got the lowest. But the biggest challenge that we have and that we need to deal with is being able to move between local offices and where stations are located. But over the years, we have been able to establish ways to ensure that we make sure that all that is required at all our stations that are very far from the local offices, all the logistics are in place, because we cannot afford to lose time between those voting stations and where the local offices are located.
Well, and we stay in the Northern Cape and take you to Kimberley, where we find our reporter Zola Sholwana. Zola, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. So the Northern Cape has the least number of people that have registered for special votes. But tell us about the activity heading into the next 2 hours when the voting stations will be opening.
Well, Aljan, what I can tell you is that there's quite heavy police presence outside the IEC offices here in Kimberley, and this is to ensure that they avoid any irregularities that could possibly transpire and that could perhaps hinder the process that will be taking place today and tomorrow. We do understand that there's over 4,000 home visits that will be taking place today, where IEC officials will be heading to the elderly and those people that are living with disabilities that will have the opportunity to cast their votes in the comfort of their own homes. And we also do understand that there's quite a number of those that will be making their way to selected voting stations. What I can tell you, Eldrin, is that it's quite busy even inside with the officials, trying to ensure that they leave the offices on time, which is obviously going to be 8 o'clock, and be in those respective areas, hoping that they are able to, complete the numbers at least by tomorrow latest, as you understand that during this time of election, there are usually challenges of not finding those people that have applied to vote in their comfort of their own homes, because some of them have changed their numbers, or simply some of them are not even available on their phones. And those that, have also applied to vote in different voting stations, some of them don't even pitch, which then becomes a challenge. And those were the issues that were raised by an IEC official that we managed to speak to earlier on, saying that they really do hope that the process runs smoothly this side. But in terms of any interruptions, we are not seeing anything that could possibly hinder the process, considering the fact that there hasn't been any protests, or we haven't had of any potential protest, and police are everywhere in this town to ensure that that does not happen. But when we were driving around, Aljan, I can tell you that yesterday there was a lot of frustration from residents who have been saying that the Diamond City has lost its shine, and the reason why most people are looking forward to casting their votes this week from today actually is because they really want to see change. As when you drive around, there are so many potholes and all other issues that residents have been protesting about in the past a couple of years, saying that their infrastructure is dilapidated. And when they describe Kimberley, they are saying that they feel like it is the stepchild of South Africa, and they are hopeful that from this year's elections, their votes will obviously, bring some sort of change into the future of Kimberley, so that it retains, it retains its Diamond City status as it was known. As there's, a great cry about the high unemployment rate in this area, where residents are saying that young people are there and they're willing to work, but the mines in this area allegedly, or rather these allegations at this point from residents, saying that they don't employ people from, townships like La Khalishiwe, for instance. They instead take people from other provinces.
Thank you so much, Zola Sholwana, there joining us from Kimberley outside the IEC's offices. And of course, 83,504 people are registered to vote in these special polls. Only 83,504. And of course, that is the least.
Yeah.